Hi, everybody. Mr. Gallo here with some very special guests for Veterans Day. I have 24-year veteran, Sergeant First Class David Curtin from the United States Army. I have Matthew Paxton, a corporal in the Marine Reserves, and a 22-year veteran, Major Roy Davis from the United States Army. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so great of you to be here. Mr. Curtin, can you please tell us about your time in the military?
Absolutely. I enlisted in 1990 as a military police officer. I enjoyed what I did. I did a lot of different things as a military police officer, which directly correlates to being a police officer in the civilian sector. I did from investigations to patrols, traffic accident investigators, all the way up to my culmination of when I left the military police corps as CID, which is the Army's version of the FBI. It's called the Criminal Investigation Division. We handled all the major cases, anything from $10,000 up and armed robberies, stuff like that.
That's so fantastic. I'm sure students will probably want to go into the military knowing that they could make that something that they could do for themselves.
Exactly. And everything we train, it converts directly over to the civilian sector.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you spending nearly a lifetime serving our country. We very much appreciate it.
That was my honor.
Matthew, can you tell us about your time in the Marines?
Absolutely. So I enlisted in 2016, the first day of January. I went to boot camp, and I was in the reserve. I finished out college, and right before I finished out college, I got a deployment opportunity to Afghanistan, which was about 16 months ago. So I'm pretty fresh back. I spent 13 months over there, and I just got back. I'm a radio operator for the United States Marine Corps. And basically our job is, our unit is the Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company. So to help coordinate be the liaison between foreign forces. So we work with NATO and a lot of other countries to basically work in the U.S.'s firepower, such as like airstrikes and artillery and mortars into their warfare. So my job is to be the radio operator and to know how to do some of those things. So that's basically what I've been doing for the past 13 months.
That's really cool. I wanted to, your story makes me think. I want to ask you, when you're overseas in a place like Afghanistan, do you worry about your safety and the safety of your fellow soldiers all the time, or is it something that just becomes second nature?
They tell you never to stop worrying about those things. Becoming content is something that's preached nonstop. It's bad juju to become content and things. So yes, to an extent you are, but it's not something that you're super worried about because you won't be able to do your job correctly. But yeah, they have a way of reminding you that you're still in danger every once in a while. So yeah, you do think about it, but it's not weighing on your mind.
Okay, so it's important to keep that balance of getting your job done at the same time, but being vigilant of your surroundings and anything that could happen.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Davis, Major Davis, can you tell us your time in the military?
Sure. Yeah, I joined the military in 1989, and I had a lot of jobs, but I think the one that was the most interesting was when I became a drill instructor. As a drill instructor, you take all of the brand new, all the civilians coming into the military, and you get them day one, and you start to essentially teach them how to get out of civilian mode into military mode. And everyone kind of goes through three phases. When they first get there, they're really scared because they have no idea what's happening. And that usually lasts 2 to 3 weeks. And then they start getting into a phase where they realize that they're going to survive. They're going to be okay. And they're just really mad at you all the time because you're making them do all these crazy things. And then it's a 9-week cycle for the Army. And then towards the latter part of it, they kind of love you because you become their hero in everything they're doing. So you get them in the beginning, they're super scared, and by the time they leave you 9 weeks later, the camaraderie that's built between that group of people is really tight. I think most people in the military can tell you some of the guys and girls they went to basic training with are the people that they are still friends with today because they have a very tight relationship with them. So I thought it was pretty amazing to take them through that cycle and to watch what comes out at the other end, because they're definitely a different person. I've had several parents come up and thank me at the end of these cycles because the letters home to them were changing over time. And keep in mind that the majority of the people that are going through this are somewhere between 18 and 21 years old. So they're pretty young people, first time away from home.
I just wanted to follow up on that. So if there was a high school student who was approaching graduation and they were thinking about the military, or anybody who was young and thinking about doing it right out of college, what do you think that they should have in their life in order? What do you think that they should be working towards if ultimately they wanted to join?
Sure. Well, one, when the military is not like a regular job, so you can't do it and then quit if you don't like it. It doesn't work that way. So if you make the decision to do it, you're making at least 2 to 3 year commitment minimum. So make sure that's what you want to do. 2, I'd say get your physical fitness up to speed, meaning make sure you're getting your push-ups, your running, your sit-ups, your pull-ups, all those things that you need to do to stay in tip-top shape. And then I would encourage all young people to consider it, especially young men, just because it's a level of discipline that I think a lot of, and when I was a young guy, that it really bode well for me. So it was a big change agent in my life.
Okay, that's great advice for young students to consider. It's such a noble profession. It's so just unbelievably, it takes that dedication and takes that commitment. One of the things that I've learned from interviewing veterans over the years is that they all say this is about being part of a team, being part of a brotherhood that you never forget. You know that you're part of the greatest military force the world has ever seen. The same soldiers that fought in the revolution, you're part of that same group. Would you guys all agree with that? Do you guys feel the same as those things that I've heard before?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And the military was built on tradition, so all the way back to the dawn of time of the first knight that raised his shield.
And you guys are upholding that tradition right now. We are so appreciative. I wanted to close by asking you guys your thoughts on what students could do to either show appreciation for military veterans or just show an appreciation for love of their country. We're talking about students that are middle school students that are going to be watching this. So they're between 11 and 14 years old. What do you think would be a good exercise for them at a time like this? David?
I believe that anytime you see an active duty soldier or someone that you can tell is a veteran, just simply tell them thank you for what they've done. And as far as what they can do for themselves, stand up and honor your flag. That's your country. Be proud of it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Davis, how about you? What do you think about things that students can do at this time?
Yeah, I pretty much echo David. When you come across military veterans or active duty service members, it's okay to go up and talk to them and say hi and thank them for their service. And they're not expecting anything, so we're always just amazed when people do come and say thank you for things like that. And as far as our flag, our country, a lot of people have gone before and given up the ultimate sacrifice, their life, to defend this country. So when you see someone doing something to defame the flag or to defame our country, if you're inclined to do so, speak up against it, because it's our country. Whether we love it or not, it's ours. It's what we have, and stand up for it.
Guys, thank you so much. I really hope that students take your message to heart and keep everything in mind that you said. I want you to know that in a normal year, you guys would be invited guests to our school. You'd be in a packed auditorium with students cheering and chanting and being proud to be Americans and proud of you guys. But they are going to be watching this and they are going to know your stories, and we appreciate it so much.
Thank you for your time and thinking of us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you guys.